Hi everyone, and welcome to Tech Talk Friday. Every Friday we talk technology, we talk tech that matters, and talk that counts, right? I mean, ultimately, bringing to you some of the thought leaders in terms of technology. And today we have with us amazing group of people. We've got two individuals who are joining us from Stravik, and Stravik's a business consulting firm based in Malaysia that specializes in business startup optimization, transformation, and expansion. So they focus on improving performance through a framework of people, process, policies, and technologies. 3P plus T. And we'll talk to their founders, the CEO is joining us, and COO will also be joining us. And they really emphasize sustainable and profitable growth, leveraging data and technology, and have an amazingly strong background and track record in aiding and helping local and multinational businesses establish and grow in Malaysia. So I'm going to be inviting Dr. Vimi Ramasamy, who's joining us. Dr. Vimi, the CEO of Stravik, and also Subra, who's the COO of Stravik. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Tech Talk Friday. Your first time on the show, right, Dr. Vimi?
Yes, first time on the show. A lot of times with you on different stuff, but first time on the show. So thank you very much. A very good morning. Very excited to be in the Tech Talk today, Friday, right?
Yeah, and Tech Talk, for those who know, we've been running this for maybe about 7 or 8 years, and prior to this, you would have seen me with this gentleman Karamjit, and we'll be sitting in my garden or sitting in my house, talking technology. And over the last number of years, we've talked to many technology leaders, and today we have Dr. Vimi and also Subra from Stravik, and let's talk a little bit about this whole concept of business automation, the things that you do in terms of enabling businesses and aiding them, both the local and international businesses, to grow and establish in Malaysia. So tell us a bit about what Stravik does.
What Stravik does, okay, as you mentioned about 3P plus T, right? We actually want to go ahead and help organizations to optimize their businesses. So when you optimize, you automatically get the benefit out of it, right? In terms of cost reduction, upskilling, and all those things. And fundamentally, when you do that, we want to actually embed it with sustainable practices. And that's why it's very important when we go in, we are actually providing consultations, and then we do a recommendation on customizing solutions. So that's how we look at the people, we look at their process, we look at the policy, and then see what kind of technology is suitable to go ahead and help them to do the optimization. So that's what we started off. And as you mentioned, we did a startup, right? So right now, later I'll tell you how we have taken all these together, and we are really building our own software as well, right? To support the sustainability. I'll wait for that.
And a big part is really about business automation, right? And not many people truly understand business automation. It's not as simple as it sounds, but it's not as complex as it sounds also, right? So before we get into how you drive automation and so on, let's talk us through some of the emerging trends and technologies and automation that the businesses in general, and especially some of the businesses you help, I think should be aware of.
Yeah, if I look at very rightly put, Roshan, because people think automation, they have these ideas, robots, just making it faster. But if you take a look at the trends, right? If I look at the trends are how OEM or the manufacturing, everything is shifting their patterns. Even us, right? How are we shifting the way that we do work? So one of the key trends that we see in this space is actually hyper automation. Hyper automation, right? Where it's coming from multiple sides. It's not only just one part. We are trying to automate in different angle and then combine that together. And if you see how the business are enabling it, for example, like Siemens or Omron, the PLCs, right? Last time, they are very siloed. They don't talk to each other. But now everything can talk to each other. So it makes hyper automation much more easier. Even the softwares, right? We do a lot of API. We have multiple small softwares. Last time, it's just a big enterprise focusing. So that's one trend, how people are shifting. The other trend I see is cyber security. I'm sure with your cyber armor and everything, that's why you are there, right? People are focusing a lot on cyber security because one of the main components that we are doing in automation is, apart from just automating the process, we are gathering a lot of information during that process so that we can turn it into actionable items using AI, right? And ML and everything. And what happens? It becomes very confidential, very secure. And how can we automate the cybersecurity space, right? How do we automate that? So that's one trend. The other trend is people are very conscious right now with ESG coming out, environmental social governance. People are looking at sustainable and green automation.
Yeah.
So it is very important. These are the trends that's coming up. I'm just sharing with you three. So if I go into the technologies, maybe Subra, do you want to share on the technology space?
Right.
Sure.
So again, good morning, everyone. So
Yep.
talking about upcoming technologies, we are talking about, example, 5G. Now we already on the 5G, but the 6G is already on the roll, right? In some countries, and
Yep.
how this not 6G or might as well 7G, how does it going to help us in the automation? So whereby you are no longer, you can deploy any automation at any site. You no need to be connected uh, with wires, right? It's automatic. It's wirelessly. You are connected. The data flows in wirelessly, and the latency, we talk about the latency, how your operations are running, being monitored real time, and how well they are doing, how well your process is happening, and all these is able to be able to monitor it real time, and the user can able to make a sound decision based on all these inputs, all these feedbacks, and do a more conscious decision in to meet your work output, right?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a number of people. Eric is saying hi to you guys. I think
Hi.
Vincent and Vincent's from Penang. Hi, Vincent. Just saw him
Yes.
yesterday. So and by the way, I'm in Penang too this week. So with I think Vimi and Subra, you guys are also in Penang. And of course, Andrea from Singapore says hi to all of you. So greetings to all of you
Hello.
all. And if you have any questions for either Subra or for Dr. Vimi, feel free to throw them out in the comments, and we'll be happy to take them and have them answer. So we're talking about business automation specifically, and Stravik has pioneered some of the groundbreaking work in terms of helping smaller organizations, middle-sized and larger organizations look at business automation in a holistic way, right? In a way that makes sense, that also encompasses sustainability. So if I'm an organization and I'm saying, look, I have manual processes, a lot of people, I have a whole bunch of things happening. What's the first step I do in terms of thinking about business automation, in terms of driving this as a transformation agenda in my organization? What should I be doing, Dr. Amy or Subra, whoever?
Well, the first thing, of course, you identify your priority, right? That you want to go ahead and work in. As you say, if you
Yep.
already know this is my manual process, this is where my bottleneck is. The very first thing that you need to do, you need to actually visualize the entire flow that you have,
Mm.
right? Map them up in a very simple format, where and what you're going to do with each of the steps.
Okay.
As you do each of the step, you will be able to identify which are your bottleneck areas.
Okay.
And that will then translate to what you want to do with it, right? And then we
Okay.
can look at different options, because one of the things that when we do in this process, right? First, as you see, right, we go in and study, right? Because as we look at the process, at times we can optimize the business without introducing in automation. Is just eliminating the waste in the process.
Mm.
So when you map out the whole entire process, you will be able to identify which are the things that is actually required. So as you go through each of the process, you should have a clear view. What is your input? What is your expected output? And how are you progressing with it, right? And then we take a look at definitely your people, whether they are ready. We look at your process, and then we look at your policy of enabling. Because I have to share with you, some of the times we can bring in high tech, but when you bring in the high tech, the system is able to make its own decision. But are you ready in your organization to allow that decision to flow? Right? That's the policy that we are looking at, right? So people need to be very clear. And then, of course, we look at technology. technology, there's a wide range of technology. As just now Subra was just telling about the 5G, and we're talking about Swampy. We're talking about, everyone is very familiar with RPA, right? Robot process automation.
Yep.
Now we're doing e-invoicing. That's what they're going to go ahead and use it. People talk about AI. People talk about ML. People talk about the machine learning. These are all things that IoT, it's just a buzzword, but how much are you going to use them? And the key is which is applicable for you based on your course. And that's when probably we encourage you to call experts like us to help you to navigate that part, right? So we can actually map that out for you, so you don't do a lot of trial and error stuff. But our end in mind, we will teach you these steps, so in future you are able to do it. And very similar with your thought process, actually, Roshan, how we want to democratize automation process, right?
Right. And
So
I think
just to add on to what
go ahead.
Vimi is saying, right? So basically, if you take any organization, doesn't matter whatever industry it is, as we speak, when we go in, right, there's no one organization can come and say, hey, we are perfect. No way. If let's say somebody comes or business owners come and say, hey, there's no wastages, no bottlenecks in my operation, then we know it's not the real scenario. Anywhere, even in our own organizations, right? There are some shortcomings or whatever it is not, and that's what we do. We improvise how we do it better from yesterday. That's the whole concept here, and business owners need to come to that understanding, and no, they need to be aware of, hey, this is my business, I'm running this business for ages, right? But it doesn't mean that everything is there is no opportunity for improvement whatsoever. And the improvement, not necessarily you straight away jump into automation as per se. It can be a simple process elimination, or simplify your existing procedures, because most of the time when we walk the line, what happens is there are legacy procedures which has been in place for many years, and the person who brought it that steps not even there. He might have moved out from the organization, but yet people are still following the procedures, as simple as that, right? So when we go in, we go see all these other processes, people, process, and policies. Then once we have worked on, and we have minimized all these redundancies on this aspect, these pillars, then we'll go and advise them to look into the automation. That's our core principles in Stravik.
Okay. Yeah, and I think there's some comments coming in, and one is from Andrea. Specifically in terms of like baby steps, right? I mean, we talked about the 4 steps that you put together just now, but so her question is that SMEs are really struggling to catch up and keep up with the pace of companies already implemented AI tools, because AI now helps to automate, so her question is starting, is there simple tools like digital twins or AI virtual assistants where businesses, especially SMEs, should start thinking, and who did they turn to change that? I assume it's to you guys, right? So I think that's an easy answer. But are there specific things that they can already do, prior to having you guys come in and analyze and look at the overall, maybe the broader business perspective, some simple digital tools that they can actually start implementing?
I'm just looking at Andrea's message as well that's coming up on digital twin and everything, right? You will have a digital twin. I hope everybody is aware about digital twin. You mimic a whole entire operation in virtually, right? And there we will do simulation to see how your process takes in and everything. So that's
what digital twin is. That's what digital twin is.
Yeah,
is to mimic.
that's what digital twin. So we will mimic something virtually. So and one is in your reality, right? So in your virtual, I can actually tweak your input, your output, and how probably the parameter works, and see what are the outcome of it. And that does not impact your existing production or manufacturing or your current flow, right? So that's how we have the digital twin type of concept. So people going to digital twin are pretty very high-end kind of thought process, because they have a lot of it already into a digital system. I mean, it's
Yeah.
automated, but it's also a digital transformation. So coming back to your question, what kind of basic tools? I don't want to specify because it's very, very dependent on each of the group of what they want to do. In fact, if you go and ask ChatGPT, they even give you like standardized process. For example, if you want to optimize a process, for example, let's just take talent recruitment.
Mm.
You ask ChatGPT, what is the standard optimized process? It will give you a flow. And then you can already refer that flow based on what you have and see whether you are actually the flow of the organization is very much, or what are you doing differently, right? So simple cues that you can go ahead and applicable on many free software out there. I'm sure there's a lot of it out there in terms of how you generate, but asking this kind of optimized solution frameworks, checking out the images of the flows, there are a lot of it available that can give you immediate some short insights, right? The gap is the system doesn't understand what is your reality. That is the thing. That's what we feel, because when we go and do our consulting work, a lot of times people have tried it by themselves and then it does not work. And then we go in, of course it works, probably sometimes it works, but not most of the time. They cannot, they kind of hit a saturation limit, right? Where we come in is, a part of having all this automation and everything, you need real human being to take a look at it and tell you what are the other aspects that comes together, right? At times, I have actually gone to an organization where the gap of their automation is purely because of the people. The people didn't want to accept the automation because they were afraid that their jobs will go away. And so no matter what you put in, you could not get a whole good accomplishment with it, right? Because there keeps coming an error, the system is down, people is not working together with the system, right? So those kind of stuffs, we need other intervention, right, to go ahead and make that
Another
happen.
aspect that we seen, that gaps that we seen whenever automation fails, is whereby you have a solution, you develop a solution from your vendors or whatever it is, but the solution question to be asked is, at the end of the day, is it a functional solution? Most of the time you have a very nifty, very high tech solution, but how well it is working with your within your organization flow
Right.
and procedures, right? So at the end of the day, what they end up is with the white elephant. It's not a functional tool. So that's where again we at Stravik, we want to see, we don't straight away jump to automation. Hey, let's have the system, bring in the system or whatever it is. We'll see where is the gap right now in current procedures, right? We'll map it out everything, we'll share, we go through with the users, then we'll see how to tackle each of the gaps. And at the end of the day, when we deliver the solution, it's a functional tool. Because being a technical person, we want to simplify the workflow. And at the same amount, simplifying the workflow, but deliver your much more desired output, right? That's the intent.
Okay, fantastic. I think some really good. In fact, Salina gives you 100%, Subra. So we got big endorsements from everyone across the country. And I think one of the things that we're gonna take a quick short break. And then we'll come back and talk a little bit more. I want to go deeper into why you guys are doing it. What drives you both to be so passionate about helping SMEs and multinationals to automate? What are the issues and challenges that we may be facing in terms of that? So we're gonna take a short minute break. But as always, part of this program has been brought to you by Cyber Armor. And Cyber Armor is led by a guy called Danny Kim, and we're gonna just do and Danny's developed a technology that is groundbreaking. And this technology is called Shepherd. So we're going to take a short little break and do a quick overview of this tool called Shepherd. It's a stealth and containment tool. And here's a little video to watch a little bit about Shepherd. All right, welcome back to Tech Talk, and we are here in a special session with talking a little bit about automation, talking a little bit about business innovation, transformation. And here with me is Dr. Vimi Ramasamy and also Subra, the CEO of Stravik, is with us. And we talked a little bit about some of the tools, some of the things that baby steps or first steps that we can take as a business in terms of looking at business automation and transformation. I want to ask you guys what drives you guys. I mean, why is this? I know you're so very passionate about enabling and enabling organizations in Malaysia specifically to thrive by automation. And I know your background, Dr. Vimi, especially you have a background in data, in Intel, in IHS Market. I mean, some of the biggest multinationals in the world. And you left all that, and now it's all about helping organizations to succeed. What drives you both? I mean, maybe you can start, Dr. Vimi.
Actually, what drives us? I think by default, because we are tech background, we want to do things much more efficiently. We want to make it as simple as possible, right? That's our thought process. So how started Stravik actually is like probably by accident. I decided to take a career break after so long, after 20 over years. But it just lasted 4 weeks where my ex-CEO from US insisted that I help him to go ahead and do a startup for him in Penang, in Malaysia, GBS, data analytics for pharmaceutical-based company. And when that happened, I realized if I don't take it, we are not bringing in a whole new startup to Penang, which is probably giving, we have actually right now already given about 500 jobs opportunities and everything, right? So that's how we started up having Stravik. And what happened is just at that time, it was like late 2019, 2020. So COVID pandemic hit, right? So based on our vast experience and leading organization, even with similar to Subra, we have been working with MNC, working abroad for many years. We have been exposed with a lot of strategies, technologies, and everything, how to make things much better and immediately improve your performance, right? And also how to keep the people engaged. But when we started going in to look at the SMEs who were impacted during COVID, a lot of times the first thought is they want to let go of people. They didn't know how to keep afloat. And we went in to support a few of the groups, our personal friends, and we realized they lack the expertise, the resources, purely because of the exposures that they did not get. And we realized that we are back here. If we are not going to help our fellow Malaysians, right, our SME population, who else is going to go ahead and do that? And if you look at just Penang, right, just a simple statistic, we have close to more than 300 over MNCs, but there are 4,000 SMEs that are supporting these MNCs, right? So they contribute to 97.6% of our Malaysian GDP and providing 7.3 million job opportunities, if I remember correctly from Invest Penang, right? So if I take a look at it, we have all this knowledge, all these know-hows, but a lot of them, as you know, they are very hesitant to engage with big players, right? Because of their cost factor, right? One of the things, right? The big consultant, the big companies definitely is cost factor. And another thing, a lot of them, they want somebody who've experienced what they have gone through. And that's the advantage that we have because we have run organization by ourselves, right? We know what does it take to make it happen. And we want to share that. And I'm sure as you have done a lot of it, it's no fun just being up there by ourselves. We need to bring the rest of the people together with us. And this is one of our work that we are trying to do, right? So Subra, you want to...
Yeah, thanks. Another aspect is when it's required. I mean, for any organization, especially SMEs or SMIs, they cannot afford to have different experts, content experts, right? They cannot hire so many experts across all the domain to be in house, and it's already going to burden their overheads, obviously, right? They're already struggling with the keeping their business afloat, and this will add additional complication. So that's where Stravik, what we do is we also engage experts on the needs basis, right? So that's one how this upcoming gig economy is something that in coming years it's going to be more prevalent, right? So what we do is when we walk the line, walk with the customer, we see where the gaps are and everything. Then we'll bring in the experts required to look into to work together and look into the needs and how we come up with a very optimized solution for the client. So that's another aspect that they need to think about.
Fantastic. So, Salina says Dr. Vimi is our Iron Lady. She's Penang Singham Penne. I wonder, okay, I'm not sure what that means. You
Single
gotta explain that.
penny. Single penny, you know, right, Roshan? It is Lion
I
Woman. That's a
Oh, okay.
movie.
Oh, I
It's a
thought
movie.
penne is like Italian penne, so I was like
Oh,
something
no,
different.
no. Penny is in
Oh, the
Tamil.
Tamil.
Lady,
Okay, okay.
lady.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, okay. Sorry, I'm mixing up Italian with. I thought it was
Tamil.
some kind of food. I
Roshan.
was like, okay, lion food. What's that? Okay. So I want to zoom in on one more thing, and then today we're going to do a special tribute to a friend, a technology friend who passed away yesterday, Raymond Victor, in a bit. But prior to that, I just want to zoom in on a couple more things when it comes to business automation. So, I mean, if you think about automation and generative AI and all the things that's coming, what's the future going to look like? For businesses in light of automation.
Right.
So if I take a look at it, I'm sure there's some videos. If I just imagine the vision, right? There's this in Singapore, not Singapore, in China, where all the COVID started. I don't know whether you all saw the TikTok, where you walk in the you take a LRT, everything is autonomous. You get into a cab, it's autonomous. They screen you, whether you have your ticket and everything is purely autonomous. And then you go into the street and every car is driven autonomously, right? And you go into a destination. So that is the vision of where the AI, the automation, everything is taking you. But if I take a look at it, I'm taking another step back. That's one part of the machinery. That's what everybody imagines and want to do. And I really believe this vision, right? If everybody's thinking like that, it's going to happen, right? But in my thought, a lot of people are also focusing on sustainability. We are doing a lot of the things, and my thought of automation, how does it complement with the nature? How can we make the work between people and the automation or the AI better, so that it gives back the time to people to do what they need to do?
Right.
So they can have time to spend with their family, they have the time to upskill themselves, they have the time to do really relevant work. One of the things that people keep asking, right, is going to take away my job. But I just share with you one storyliner. This happened many years ago. When typewriter came in, typewriter, everybody knows typewriting, right? I know during my time after SPM, you have to go and learn typewriter, very essential. But after that, typewriter disappeared. Computer came in. So what happened to the people, stenographers? People changed. So it's same. We are in the technology space. It will change and we will adapt. But having that said, how we bring in the sustainability, right? I also want to make sure I share something. I think if I go not sharing this, my marketing person will kick me on my butt, right? One of the things, as we are walking a line, we are doing consulting, we are doing customized solution, we realized a huge leakage in the industry. People were wasting a lot of energy, especially with the SMEs and everything, right? And we realized one of the reasons is they don't have a cost-effective solution. And if they waste energy, you're increasing your carbon. And then we realized a concern with the ESG. I mean, Subra was doing a lot of consulting work. People talk about ESG, and maybe let him share. Subra, you talk about the ESG, and they were talking about it. They really don't know what to do.
Exactly. So what happens is everybody talks about ESG. There's a lot of awareness given, right? So there's so much of information out there. But at the end of the day, when you go and speak to the person in the ground, they are overwhelmed with the informations. So the question is, what's next? What do I do next? I have
Right.
all the information required, right? Every other week somebody is giving a forum or awareness session, or no, hence, whatever it is not. So that's when we decided to come up with this ESG digital tool, right?
Okay.
To simplify and to assist the SMEs, SMRs, even MNCs to help them, to guide them, to assist them on their ESG journey, right? How to digitalize it, not dependent on paperwork, on no Excel or whatever not. It's a solution, a digital solution. It's everything in one platform, and you have everything. You can always refer to what was your trend, past
Right.
trends,
Right.
what is your current focus and everything, right?
What
Okay,
what's
our full
I mean,
name,
how do people get access to this tool? Is there a site
contact
that
us
they can go
because
to?
we just released it to a pilot, and
Okay. And
good that
what's the contact? Is there a website?
yeah, you
That
can refer basically in our web. We didn't put so much of information
Stravik,
because yeah,
Stravik.com.
Yeah.
stravik.com, but the product's name is Connects to Save, because this
Connect to
is a
Save.
digital
There you go.
tool. And then for ESG, we are also having a digital tool for monitoring your energy and optimizing it. And then
Fantastic.
we are building a whole ecosystem. So this is our baby step as well. We just did an MOA with USM and we have pilot tested it. Our first pilot went very well, just got the result 2 weeks ago. So now we are positioning it to push it out to the industry and how we can go ahead and get that going, right?
Okay.
So
There you go. So yep.
yes,
Look for Stravik.com and reach out to Dr. Vimi. I think you can also look at her up on
yeah, ping me
LinkedIn.
in the LinkedIn, because one of the other concerns is we are also thinking of not cyber security. It's more of okay, keeping our ideas first and seeing and sharing it when it comes out properly, right?
Fantastic, fantastic. So Stravik.com, check it out. There's an amazing ESG tool in there. And it's talking to you guys, like it seems like 5 minutes, but 30 minutes just fly by
Yes.
really fast. We usually do our quick round. I'm not sure whether we have time today, but maybe what we'll do is we'll do a couple of quick rounds. So every Tech Talk Friday, we have a challenge round, 5 questions under 1 minute. We'll do a couple of it. So I'll start with Vimi and then I'll go to Subra. You got less than 20 seconds to answer each question, all right? So I'll start with question number 1 for Vimi. If you could change something in the world, what would you change?
People's mindset.
People mindset. Okay, Subra, what's your most non-tech related topic? Cannot say AI.
Non-tech related.
Cannot say automation. So tough, right?
Gadgets. I don't know, but it's again,
tech.
tech. Favorite non movies. Yeah,
All
movies.
these tech
Sci-fi
people.
movies. Maybe. Yeah.
Sci-fi movies tech again. Okay, never mind. We get it. We are tech people. Mimi, what's the one business show, book, podcast you always recommend to aspiring entrepreneurs? Is there a book or a podcast or a...
Book. I actually read about Startup Nation. That's
Okay,
one
Startup
book
Nation.
that, I'm very
Fantastic.
fascinated about that. That I really
Subra,
recommend.
what's your favorite way to unwind?
Music.
Music. All right, love it. Okay, Mimi, if you have a time machine, you can give one piece of advice to your younger self. What golden nugget would you share with yourself?
One piece of advice to just
To your
do it.
younger self. Just do it. You wish you had done it earlier.
Yes, I wish I would have done it earlier.
All right. Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
And Subra, if you could have one superpower related to business, what would it be? Or technology?
Little bit. What would we say yes
All
to our
right. Say
proposals?
yes to propose. And this for both of you, what's the best thing about Penang? You got 20
That's
seconds each.
lots of things best.
Yeah, just one thing.
The food is the best in Penang. The
All
people
right.
are best in Penang because we are
Give
very
us
And the
give some more,
commute.
Subra.
The commute.
The
yes.
commute.
I can
I
do
thought that's
much
the
more
worst
things.
thing.
Commute is the one I can do so many things within a given time span. So I can
Wow.
complete
Okay.
the 3. Yeah.
I just got stuck in a traffic jam in Penang yesterday night, so
Okay. No, but you
trying
need
to
to be
go
a
to
Penang
go
night.
to Georgetown from
Yeah.
Bayan Lepas. So
You
but
need to know the timing.
yeah, exactly. No, so it's fantastic. You know, we're gonna do and thanks so much, Dr. Vimi and Subra. Appreciate your
Thank you.
presence. So we're gonna
Thank you.
we're gonna do a short little a tribute today because a friend of ours, a dear friend, who basically meant a lot, I think, to the community, the tech community in Malaysia. Raymond Victor. So Raymond, unfortunately, yesterday left us, and you know, we are kind of sort of really saddened by his sudden departure. And you know, Raymond actually had dinner with me last Friday. We had dinner together, and on Monday we were together for a session on cybersecurity. So today we want to take a moment to honor and remember Raymond Victor, because this guy is a luminary in the ICT industry, very beloved figure in our tech community, and his journey is more than 25, 30 years. His unwavering dedication, remarkable achievements. Today, as Regional Director of the Stravik, he's led a team of developers, consultants in cybersecurity, cloud, software engineering, ServiceNow, and left an indelible mark in each of these fields. You know, to be very honest, Raymond's career has been characterized by his strategic vision and business acumen, right? I mean, he really excelled in everything, and he's always giving, right? I remember just on Monday, he was telling Hui Meng, my co-founder, hey, you know, if you have any problems with your MD Malaysia Digital pieces, call me. I'll help you. No problem, no charges. But you know, beyond his professional achievement, Raymond was really passionate about fostering a high performance culture and delivering innovative solutions that brought significant value, right? Immense value to customers and stakeholders. So his legacy at MDAC and his work with governments, listed companies, NMC across ASEAN, I think will continue to inspire and guide us. So Raymond, thank you. Raymond's not just a leader, a true visionary who dedicated his life to making a difference. So we remember him today. We celebrate his contributions, his passion, and the lasting impact he has made on all of us. Rest in peace, Raymond. Your legacy will continue to live in the hearts and minds of those you touch. So thank you, everyone, and thank you, Raymond, for the legacy that you've left behind. So that's Tech Talk for us this week. We leave you in a little bit of a sort of contemplative and somber mood, but we want to thank our guest today. Really enlightening discussion with Dr. Vimi Ramasamy and Subra, and our sincere condolences, I think, from everyone here. So this has been Tech Talk Friday for all of you. We look forward to having you again next Friday, same time, same place, in the morning. And next week, right, we have an amazing guy, Tarif Jafari from Bangkok. He's going to be on the show. So he's going to talk a little bit about employee intelligence. So that's going to be an exciting show with us for next week at 10 a.m. Malaysian time. So we'll see Tarif on next Friday. So we'll see everyone. Take care. We'll see you next week. Tech Talk Friday. Tech that matters, tech that counts, talk that counts. There you go.